Good morning, here is the Breville Barista Express BES870 in black. As you saw in the photos, it's in good condition. It is a used machine, so it does have the usual wear and tear on the front, mainly some scratches here around this edge. Yeah, a bit of wear and tear all around the front mainly, but nothing too bad if I'm being honest. A bit of like discoloration here on the back of the lid. But yeah, very usual. I just finished doing the service last night. Everything was perfect. Tested the pressure, did all the cleaning cycles, checked for steam and water leaks, nothing, absolutely nothing. Yeah, we will make a coffee on it in this video. I will be making a latte, like a short latte magic thingy, because I'm using a small cup and using a smaller quantity of milk. One more thing with the machine, there's a chip on the portafilter here at the edge. It doesn't affect anything, and it's not going to get worse anytime soon. It was just dropped at some point, I believe. Cool. When I first turn on the machine, usually it takes about a minute to reach temperature. And you see that by the buttons being on. I like to warm up the machine though, even after it's ready to go. To warm it up, I would just get my cup, lock in the portafilter just a little bit, and then press the double. So obviously the basket is empty. This will warm up these components, and it'll also flush any coffee or grounds that are stuck. You can do this once or twice. You can try the single button as well if you have a small cup. Once that's done, I'm going to take my cup, put it on top, take out the portafilter and dry it thoroughly. I'm using the double basket now. This will take 18 grams of ground coffee. Your machine also comes with 3 other baskets, the single shot and 2 dual wall baskets. Dual wall, they're made with a double layer of metal. And they will pressurize the coffee. So if you're using older coffee, or let's say pre-ground coffee that someone gave to you, the double wall baskets will do a better job of pressurizing and giving you a decent shot, whereas these single wall baskets are for fresh beans only. I've got my scale here to measure the inputs and outputs. We will aim, like I said, 18 grams into the handle, and in terms of espresso, we'll aim for 36 grams out of the handle in 30 seconds. Hopefully that should take 30 seconds if we have all the settings right. I haven't made a coffee on it yet with these beans, so the only way to know that we have the correct settings is to make a coffee. So we've got 3 things: grind size, grind amount, and brew amount. And hopefully we're aiming for a 30-second shot. In terms of the grind size, that will dictate how fine or how coarse the coffee is. So I had a look last night in terms of the coffee grounds, and I think number 5 should give us a decent shot. Well, at least close enough. You can't know by looking at it, but it felt like an espresso grind at grind size number 5. I wouldn't go too fine to number 1. That's way too fine. It's not good for the coffee or for the grinder, I think. And I wouldn't go all the way to 16, because that's too large. And that's just going to give me a fast shot. Put my coffee on the side, and yeah, let's have a go. In terms of the grind amount, you can put it on the single or the double, and obviously select this dial. I'll keep it on 12 o'clock, that's where I usually start. I'll keep it on the 12 o'clock and do the single twice rather than the double just once. Doing the single twice will be less messy and more neater, I would say. Okay, first dose done. Looking good. Maybe on the finer side, but I could be wrong. That was 8 grams. I'll top it up to 9 grams. That's 9 grams. Once you have the first shot of 9 grams, lightly press it with the tamper to make way for the second batch. Okay, now I'll put it at 2 o'clock. Let's see what that gives us. 18.5. So, 12 o'clock gave me about 7.7. This gave me 9.5. So this should give me about 8.4, 8.5. So keep it at the 1 o'clock. At least try start there and see what happens. Try it out. If you have a scale, that would be very handy to measure and know that you're getting the right amount of coffee in and out. Before you press it with the tamper a second time, just spread the coffee with your fingers just to make sure that the pressure is all even all around the puck. And then put it on the bench and press it, or you can press it in the air like I'm doing here. Just make sure it's even all around. Make sure you apply even pressure all across the coffee. And you'll notice that the depth of the coffee correlates very well with the depth of the silver part on the tamper. So if you have the correct amount of coffee, you'll notice that this silver part disappears, and that's what happens here because we know we have 18 grams according to the scale. And yeah, as you can see, it's nice and smooth, flat all around. I will also clean the edges if there's any loose coffee like here, and then lock it in, just in the middle position. It's got a fairly fresh rubber seal, so you don't have to force it all the way to the right. What else? I think that's it. Next, you just add any syrups or like sugar if you prefer. You have a hot water tap that you can use for that. If you want to warm up your cups, add some water to make this a long black maybe, or if you, I don't know, wanted to brew tea bags, you can use a hot water tap for that. Okay, now let's do the coffee. I'll be reprogramming the buttons for you because out of the factory they're a bit too long, in my opinion. So I'll reprogram them to, I'll at least reprogram the double one actually, just to get you started. To do that, you press the program, then the button you want to program. I'm also going to time it with my clock here, and we'll see how we go. If it runs too quickly, we will know, because we will get a 36 gram shot in less than, like let's say less than 20 seconds. That's too quick, I would say. If we get the 36 grams in more than, like say 40 seconds, then that's too quick. So I'll be aiming for that 30 seconds dead center, and we'll see. The pressure should be anywhere in the gray zone. It's not as important as the timing. It's on the slower side of things. It's at 1 o'clock position. I actually forgot to start the timer, but that felt like 30 seconds to me. Yeah, that looked like a good shot. I can't remember the exact timing, like I said, but it looked like a decent pour to me. It was symmetrical. We have a good amount of crema, a good amount of pressure, and we got okay, 30 grams. So probably better to let it run for a bit longer. What I would say is maybe try a larger grind size. So we are using grind size 5. I'm gonna increase it to 6. But of course, whatever I do here will not be exactly the same for you because you might be using different beans. I'm using the Coles medium variety. Just add a bit more. I don't recommend this, but I'm just wanting to extract a bit more caffeine out of my coffee. There you go, that's 36 grams. That's what it should look like, 36 grams. After this video, I'm just gonna reprogram this button to give you 80 mils of water, which usually is about 40 mils of coffee. 80 mils of water, that is. Don't want to waste this coffee, and unfortunately I don't have the time to do another shot. That's alright. I'll do that later. Take out the portafilter, give it a good knock, and do a single just to flash, and clean the shower screen and the portafilter. If you want to be extra nice to your machine, you can grab the brush, or a brush or a tissue, if you have one, like a small coffee machine brush. But a cloth should work fine. And just wipe this shower screen and the rubber seal. It may be hot, so don't burn yourself. Yeah, there's a bit of coffee usually. Good to have it cleaned up. Yeah, next is steam. You turn it on, you wait 15 seconds, and it should start steaming after. That's a good shot. Once you start hearing that pulsating, it's about full pressure. So I've turned it off, place my jug, turn it back on. The technique is to keep the milk spinning. Make sure we don't have any milk. There we go, that's better. So turn it off. Turn it back on. Fill the jug about halfway. And then once the milk starts spinning around, so I'm keeping the wand at an angle and like close to the edge of the milk jar, so it's spinning it as I'm steaming. For the first 10 seconds or so, keep the tip close to the surface so that you can inject a bit of air into the milk. And after that, just raise the jug to stop injecting air. You don't want to inject too much air, otherwise it will become too bubbly, too thick, which is not good for a latte. I mean, it's good for a cappuccino if you want. Very similar things to most people, actually. And I'll keep it spinning now, keeping the wand deep into the milk. And once it's too hot to the touch, once I can't put my hand on it for a second or so, that's about 60 to 65. I'm going to take out my jug slowly, make sure I don't drip, give it a purge for a second or so. Just quickly pulse the steam to get rid of any milk on the inside. And then now it'll cool down, it'll go back to espresso mode. I'm just going to grab a wet towel and wipe off the wand. Obviously it's metal, obviously gets really hot, so that will make the milk stick onto it. It'll be hard to remove if you let it dry for a while, versus cleaning it up right away, in my experience. Keep it nice and happy. That's done. That's a latte or magic coffee latte thingy on the Barista Express. Once you're done with the milk, knock the jug on the counter to break any big air bubbles, and swirl it around to mix. We've got a good foam here. Yeah, not the best pattern, but the coffee looks good. It smells good as well. Here is the final result. I'm sure you can do better coffees than that. That's very amateur of me. I'm not a barista, I just do this for fun. But you can probably do latte art if you're a barista, or if you have some form of latte training. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. This has been the Barista Express making a magic. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. And I'll see you soon. Thanks.